My name is Jeremy Ryan. We were volunteered and chosen by those who know better than any of us.
Stephen Roswell. They called us the protectors of freedom, of the land of the free and homes of the brave, chosen by leaders with explanations of things threatening all our freedoms, with treasuries of arms and weapons, and even some lies.
They called me Hawthorne. But no matter, we are sworn to defend whatever our commander-in-chief places before us.
I'm Jason Todd.
Youths.
Hell, young men like us, who must guard this country without questioning. Give it all for God and country.
Commanders, leaders, lieutenants, and some generals might return with some of the other troops. Troops are golden, but tarnished, broken, some doomed and convulsing. Are they guilty, sad, heartbroken, or just disturbed?
All of us are soldiers. Children, boys broken.
We saw the desert.
We felt the desert.
We tasted the desert.
And we bled in the desert.
The desert and the jungle are forever with us.
The things we have seen cannot be unseen and must not be forgotten. The flames, the danger and the bitterness will not leave us.
Let us speak for warring soldiers everywhere. Let the heart convulse and whine for our masters and our mothers.
Do we have these?
Do we return whole?
Do we return broken?
Where is the overeducated lieutenant to bring us news, messages, and orders? Was there a party in Baghdad?
Abu Ghraib.
Basra 2008.
Torquay 2006.
Najaf 2004 and 2007.
During the Ramadan offensive.
Fallujah 2004.
Mosul 2004.
Ramadi 2004.
What happened in Afghanistan?
With the Taliban. Operation Desert Storm with Stormin' Norman Schwarzkopf. Operation Enduring Freedom and the response to 9/11.
War on terrorism.
Remove Al-Qaeda.
Fall of Kabul.
Uprising in Herat 2001.
Battle of Tora Bora.
Chris Cunningham. We became leaders in the desert, guarding the land of sand and sun. Riflemen and tank and truck drivers, we came with grit and certainty.
And all became fear and dread.
My buddies call me Ronnie Raymond. The infantrymen and the riflemen were brave, pushing themselves.
I am Hunter Green. Sworn orders they were given from the consequential commander-in-chief.
We came with Abrams tanks and stopped under the hands of victory.
We came into Baghdad for the overthrow of the Ba'athist government.
Did we disarm?
Did we rid the world of the weapons of mass destruction?
We walked and talked, moved quietly and whispered, sat and talked, marked and moaned and mumbled.
There was Tommy, Mac, Marcus, Phil, Joey, Jamil, Landon, Mikey, Fred, Juan, Morse, and Jackie. All carrying the weight of backpacks and the weight of war's mischief.
At night, there were stars like the ones in Louisiana, Arkansas, Montana, Maine, Kentucky, and Illinois. The nights were often soft.
But we followed the commanders and their orders. The weapons and the artillery were pointed and positioned with an Easter care.
We would think of our neighbors back home, friends, the foes, and siblings.
The threat was a joke, as was our sworn promise to do, and to do as told. A uniformed servitude.
Combat would come in the dawn, and with the growing heat. Light was never a relief. People, festooned, robed, half naked, but never to be trusted. Sometimes poured forward, following or surrounding the tribal chief.
Dust was covering too many faces, as were the head coverings.
The children were beautiful. They were frightened. They were dangerous. They were often seduced by their innocent beauty.
And sometimes we shot them.
We took down the old men.
We took down the old and young women.
We took down the houses and the stores.
We took down their hearts and blew up their walls.
Our thirst was not taken by their blood, nor their loss. But in the end, it was we who lost ourselves in the honorable crap that was our duty.
The cities, the lives that we destroyed.
We, the high and mighty, the way up army moved down to the middle of the desert. Asia. We are the marshals of law, captains, lieutenants, and foot soldiers, with small degrees of discernment of what the power the carrying out of an order really brings to the taking and the receiver of its jerked up power.
This man, the blue-eyed bastard, is now feeling the consequences of his and his buddy's murderous deeds.
We regurgitated over Kabul, places in Iraq, in Libya, in Syria, like drunken sailors. But now, my head hurts and I cry. And I get angry and pissed off because I still see my dead friend. Yeah, my buddy. And I see what he killed and broke. How I helped.
God has prevailed. Because what we did is not over. It is not complete. Like a wound that never healed. An infection still festering. It is not finished. Will it ever be? Will we ever be made whole again?
The enemy is declared by a nation's leaders, and that enemy sees us as their enemy. We are two sides to the same terrible coin. All we must do is swear and cross oceans. Damn it! We fly and then ride and then walk into the land, the cities and the houses. We see the enemy as that enemy sees us. Stare into a mirror of hate and kill. Oh, we conquer before they do it to us.
We came across the separating sacred sea. Did I deceive you, oh God? Did I, being me, let you down? Have I not been workable, or thoughtful, or speedy enough? Bless me. Coax me. Don't let any of us go astray just because we are who and what we are, oh Lord. Amen.
All of us covered in Kevlar and bulletproof stuff.
Boots, helmets, vests, radios, and special weapons. Modern armor. We are to be feared. But mostly, we wear fear. Or two-way radio stops in our brains that take the pain away.
We hear our feelings in Bosnia,
Vietnam,
Kosovo,
Persian Gulf, Korea,
Saudi Arabia,
Congo,
Afghanistan,
Manassas,
Pakistan,
Bull Run,
see Boko Haram.
Gettysburg.
Our infantry swarms like bees at the wave of a general.
and the enemy is choked, and the lieutenant is choked, and the sergeant is choked. And some of us vomit and lose our bowels.
We suck up words, actions, deeds, and make the stuff for future tears, or nightmares, or addiction, or just quiet meanness, or rooms and coffee cups to cry in.
Yes. We push it down deep inside our guts. But so connected to our hearts, every one of us, from the lowest soldier to the supreme commander, we cry out for our mothers.
How do these, the givers of the orders, deal with that responsibility? How did the fathers deal with the terrible functions that are now their sons? How do the people carry on? Will the chain of horrors ever be broken? Are we doomed to forever repeat the mistakes of our fathers?
And for all of us, here comes the mother and wife. Some mothers are small, some ample.
Some tall and have lots of hair. Some have almost none.
Some are chocolate. Some are strawberries.
Some smell good, and some don't.
Some are benign, some mean. All are our beginning.
This is the woman who commands, crushes, and caresses with little difference.
Earth Mother, Monkey Mama, Mad Mo. Mom.
This mother, who was married to Darius, was
Darius. Now, Darius and she are the parents of our absent commander, Zach.
Yeah. To whom we have sworn our undying loyalty.
When I was a young girl, everything was good. My mother and father had a really good marriage. At least that is what I thought. My father gave orders and everybody obeyed. No one sassed or talked back. You see, he was military and that was the way it was then. I thought my daddy was a big hero. My mother just began to look tired. When I got out of high school, I just wanted to meet a man just like Daddy. It was okay when I joined the USO, sort of like the Girl Scouts. Very soon, I met a career man, my Darius, who had gone to the academy, and after courting the appropriate time, we got married. There were some difficulties, but then our boy, Zachary, was born. Darius kept rising in the ranks, and we moved a lot. Zach went to officers training, and Darius was killed. And Zach went to war. A few nights ago, I was feeling very bad, and I had a few drinks to relax. Sometimes we widows and mothers must make life happen. Finally, I fell asleep and had the damnedest dream. It matched so many others I've had since my son went to war. 2 of my old girlfriends came to me, just like in the real world. Well, they were fabulously dressed, flawlessly made up. Jewelry, shoes, oh my God, the shoes! Well, they had come seeking their father's wealth and an inheritance, and they started to argue, family and money. My son, Zach, tried to quiet them, but they had become violent and started to scream at each other, one stomping her feet and tearing at her clothes. The other became wild and pushed Zach, and he fell to the ground. Suddenly, his father, Darius, came from the house and stood by to defend his son. Zach became furious and screamed at the sight of him. And I awoke. I had some coffee and thought about my boy. My son will succeed. All of you will admire him. You see, he always wins because he's my boy. When he comes home, he will be magnificent and fine. He is a brilliant light, so bright. He is my baby.
Whatever goes on in your head, be prepared for reality.
Pray a little.
You know, like in the Bible, Abraham and Sarah, Joseph, his brothers and Pharaoh, Solomon asking God wisdom, Elizabeth and Zacharias.
Maybe good, maybe bad.
Talk to your dead husband Darius.
Be positive. Keep seeing Zach in the light, but know there is darkness.
Hope for the best.
We can predict that things will be different when Zach returns.
You know my dreams. You know the sacrifices I have made. Now if I just knew where to turn.
To the heart.
Where is my son?
We are all just like him. We are your sons.
There are so many of you.
We fought. We won. And we lost ourselves in uncertainty. You know we were marksmen and gunners.
Look at what has been done. What have you all sacrificed?
The earth was filled with the treasure of oil.
The dark gold ran into the flat, hot land.
Who told you that was the reason?
We are the slaves to our own pride and greed.
You fought off the foreign foes, and you did it bravely. Like my boy. With a nervous pride, you followed him as he followed his father.
We did it in the name and the cause of the Father. Damn Darius.
We wives and mothers have to hold on to our feelings for heroes and strong leaders.
Much of her life she has talked through the silences, bowed her head when struck by word or hand, worked her way through sadness and some misfortunes, always trusting that things would work out. Sip a little bit, grieve. Talk a little bit, grieve. Buy some more stuff and grieve. Sometimes she prayed, while the men around her and all the men around them drained away.
You'd better have a drink.
Soon you'll know.
Maybe not from us, but from the messages in the news media. You know, the conveyors of all the truth.
Something is about to hit the fan.
The cities of the Middle East, in the Persian Gulf, Saudi Arabia, Israel, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, and Syria, and the wealth of all these ancient and unprotected places. How have the people in them become corrupted to war? They have gone and they have fallen in this corruption. Now I must tell the horrors of this falling, and attempt to identify the barbarians from both sides.
Sadness. Weeping. Explosions. Charges. And all this damned sadness.
Look about and see the destruction. Feel the tragedy, the dark tragedy, in the full light of day. This ages even young men. None of this is rumor, because I was there. I was one of them. More than being embedded, my camera and microphone were overmounted the sights of a rifle. I walked streets and alleyways full of rotting corpses. Have you ever smelled decaying human babies? Torn faces, open chests, separated arms and legs, heads without eyes or lips, faces that grin at you from the putrid, acrid, and repulsive reeking stench of old and recent death. People sitting with head and feet gone from the sudden power of the burning explosion of an incendiary bomb. The enemy had no body armor. We did, and it guarded some of our limbs, but not our eyes or our ears from the cries of the half-dead in front of us, and those beside us, and often behind us.
We cry for me and mine. Also, we cry for you and yours. Human life is precious except in war, especially when they are not like us.
See, on the outside, we're often treated with the most sympathy, when in reality,
My Christianity
those
is
with
not
wounds that cannot be seen on the dermis suffer the most pain.
not
Bear this all the
Of
of the time. We declare from Washington and the Pentagon the stroke of a pen to the stroke of a nation.
We sit in the romance of war, thousands of miles from the occasion. Places where there is no dust, or wet of blood, rain and urine, and the smell of death, of putrid, rotting bodies of people and animals. Because we can go to the IGA, Farm Boy, Red Apple, the PX, Kroger, or the Piggly Wiggly and get our stuff.
The war is removed.
Washington is heard, but does it provide?
Oh, crap. Now she's going to talk.
We warned you! Listen! Do not start talking!
My Darius was so pretty in his green beret and smooth, tightly fitted uniform. He loved me. And he left me. I said, go and do the Far East. You know, like our dads had done in the Pacific and the Philippines and Japan in World War II. God, they were good. When they returned, it was Corregidor be damned, and Iwo Jima taken, and we gave the world an atomic bomb. We fixed them. Our fathers were in heaven when they came home to this kingdom of the United States of America. But something was very different when my Darius came back from Southeast Asia. Vietnam. He had left to go to war work, but he went to the horde that was Saigon and Cambodia and returned with a pox. No way of break. My Darius came home to shame and disappointment, people spitting on the boys' regiments, the battalions, and the units who had barely escaped. Sometimes they were called baby killers. Darius took off his uniform, sat down, and stared into the vomit of disappointment of friends and neighbors who had become anti-war. I loved all that was left of him. Now tell me about my boy and his men. Who is coming and who is gone? Go ahead, tell me.
Zach is okay, but the others.
My boy. I'm going to get ready
The
for
others.
my boy. I will bake macaroni and
You
cheese
weren't so lucky.
and pork chops
You see,
and green beans
not all of us came back with fully capable
and a peach
minds,
pie.
with fully workable
Oh,
bodies.
love my
Not all of us came back at all.
You just go tell
So
him to come home and shine light into his mama's life.
In that God-forsaken desert, there was a captain from a Georgia tank battalion who walked forward on a road to sea and disappeared in the dust because he stepped on an IED. A translator talking for Zach, whose head and bowels were blown out in front of our troops, and brain and fecal matter spread across them. Birchman from Kansas lost both the legs and an arm and cried for his daddy and died in his buddy's arms. It is said he haunted the area for weeks while the troops were there, and when they returned a year later, again, more were lost. Jimmy Farnos came with the Navy, but drowned in a sandstorm. Michael Magian, Leonard Arabus, Deshaun Malcolm, and William Baxter were captured and shot in the back of their heads in front of cameras. As the country sank further into new chaos, they took Andrew Istris and made him speak a treasonous speech, and then cut off his head and put it on a spike. These were Zach's friends, Zach's men. All are gone. The commander, Jay Lerner, came with the greatest of intentions to make things better for the warriors and those warred against, to toil nobly and die. So many were sent and deployed again and again. A whole lot went down. But I can only say so much. Many went back again and again, like battered women who cannot leave battering husbands. It was easier to endure the woes of war rather than to stay stateside.
I hear all that you are saying, but through all the misfortunes, we always win. The other side is weak, and the light of the Lord God Jesus is on my boys and our side.
I have told you. I have reported to the mother country. Many men in tanks and on foot were lost. Your Zach lost his squadron, but he crawled away. It is very painful. Let those who fought tell you.
Eyes. Seeing men, women, and children moving without limbs or with holes in their bodies. Left a fellow standing next to me with a bullet in his neck. Or an arm gone.
Nose, napalm and dung, ammonia, burning and rotting flesh.
Ears. Very high-pitched screams. Explosions so loud.
Face, tongue, so much blood. Taste the iron in the air.
Touch. Hands pulling innocence and comrades out of places.
This movie of the mind. Body parts falling into hands that could not catch them.
What has been told hardly balances what has not been told.
How could there be anything worse? You mean what the soldiers, sailors, and Marines endured was worse than what I have heard?
Men in their youth, men in their prime, and older soldiers have had their trust bent under the grandeur of conflicting wars and politics and the heat and cold of that desert. And it broke them.
Has it destroyed them?
Many officers and foot soldiers still experience the terrors of destruction. They come home with hands intact, but with torn heads and hearts. Your son was there. He has seen and felt and done it all.
Oh God! I thought you believed everything my son thought! Tell me you did all that. Where has been? Where is he?
They entered from the Gulf, crossed the plain. There most died. Lieutenant Colonel Zach Blake and a few of his men were saved. They watched men from the other side die from hunger and thirst. The weather changed, and the winds began to turn the sands while they were shooting. They spread and scattered and buried the unfortunate. Colonel Zach Blake was saved. He was so brilliant. He was cut short in that desert land. Pray, these young men
sorrow and pain is coming. Sadness! You boys already knew my sorrow. You judged me but advised me. I pray to God for all that I have sacrificed, for what has happened and the loves that have gone. That I would give all that I still have for the return of my son.
name is Chris Cunningham. People call me Cricket. In June of 2006, I was a staff sergeant in Charlie Company, Army Rangers 2nd Battalion, 35th Infantry Regiment. We were known as the 371 Cavalry, Task Force Bronco. That June, we got intel that an insurgent, Haji Usman, was holed up near an eastern Afghani town called Garwadesh. Word was he had just about 50 fighters with him. Headquarters wanted more intel, and if possible, to kill him. So they picked 14 of us from Charlie Company to form a kill team, with 2 expert snipers to go in and take care of things. Usman's camp was located on a steep-sided valley overlooking the Darya-e-Kunar River, below a hill designated 2610. Real rough country. We were choppered in under the cover of night, and we climbed all night. The temperature at night is no better than in the day, so we pretty much depleted our water by the time we made it up, just at dawn. The first thing I did was scope out a large house in the valley below with my binoculars. And guess what? I looked right into the lens of another set of binocs, looking right at me, held by what was obviously one of Usman's fighters, if not Usman himself. We had been spotted. We were all under cover, trying to spot any movement out in front of us. It was sunset. Suddenly, an RPG hit the trees above us. RPGs are nasty things. If the round doesn't land on or near you, killing you instantly. The shrapnel in the round spreads can tear you up. Odd thing is, at first there's no pain. PFC James was lying on his stomach, putting out a cigarette, when the impact hit him. At once he started groping around his body for any damage. When he felt something wet on the back of his left thigh, he screamed, "I'm hit!" Our corpsman scrambled over to him and began checking him. An artery had been severed, and James was bleeding out. Our radio man got on the horn at once, using our call sign, Chaos 3-5, trying to call in a medevac chopper, mortars, heavy artillery, and aircraft to drop bombs, as we are now drawing heavy fire and mortar rounds. Spec 4 Lieber was behind a boulder off to my left, and I was trying to reach around to return fire when he went down, blood coming out of his left ear. Near a low wall to my right, I heard Gretchen call out, "I got shot in the back!" RPG and rifle fire was so heavy, we couldn't get to it. We figured there were at least 50 fighters out there, and they were coordinating their movement and closing on our position. We received a signal we were so close to the action, any friendly fire would hit us. So we had to move. We started toward a cliff leading down away from the valley. We found some cover in the rocks and took a quick roll call. When we called for one of our riflemen, Bradford, he didn't answer at first. Then we heard him whisper, "Yeah." From the sound, we couldn't tell how far away he was. 50 feet, 100. "You okay, buddy?" I asked. "Yeah." Very softly. Then he quit answering our calls. Corpsman Monty said, "Cover me, I'm going for him." Then began running in the direction Bradbury's voice was last heard. He found Bradbury about 60 feet away. An RPG had ripped apart his left arm and shoulder. Then another RPG found its mark, slamming into Monty's legs, filling the air with shrapnel. "My leg is gone," Monty yelled. "Help me!" No one could get to him due to the heavy fire. We could hear enemy commanders shouting orders to his men. "Shoot them now!
Kill them in the name of Allah. Dara Allah, Bala Bala Na'ud, Allah Ra Bashid. Kill the infidel. Kafar Rala Bifush."
We listened to Monty scream as he bled to death. "What are you going to do when you get home?" "Drink a beer for me, buddy." "Tell my mom and dad I love them," he said. "Tell them I made peace with God." He begged to die. And then he did. The medevac choppers were coming in force now. We had to scramble down a few hundred feet off the cliff face so they could pick us up. In all, we lost 4 of our squad, plus 1 medevac corner, killed as he was trying to help us load up. A few days later, 2 Charlie troop platoons air assaulted into the valley, calling in pinpoint bomb runs as they advanced. Not much was left when it was all over.
We are the proud and the few. Cry in the night.
We are destroyed by our dark and concealed grief.
Cry in the night.
Our hands tear at our hearts.
Cry in the night. Sometimes softly, sometimes loudly.
We see our buddies, our friends, and our enemies dying and singing in front.
Cry without light.
All of Asia and America blend in bloodbaths of orders and blastings.
Cry without light.
I was with her son, Zach. He led us into the heat of battle in those hot and cold days in Desert City.
Cry in the night.
He wasn't as lucky as his father Darius.
Who could not cry in the night? See it, smell it, hear it. Feel the thunder of bombs shake through your body.
Moan and bite your lip till it bleeds.
Wail like a motherless child.
Hear the voice within that comes from without.
See the mangle.
Wish for something in your pocket and in your heart that will take you back home and to valor from this God-forsaken place.
You know that some are now voiceless. Others are leaving households sonless and daughterless.
Some old men will recall their times, but without their sons.
Is this the place of the silken caravans? The exotica of Persia? The mysteriousness that was Baghdad? The roads that brought the glories of Asia are now highways and rocky paths of blood, with no seeming end to misunderstanding, malice, and misgivings.
Why has one of the cradles of civilization become a hellhole of blood and destruction?
Boys, wise up and know evil. It always comes, and it seems to be our fortune. I have seen all kinds of things, and I only fear promises and songs of hope. My Darius was lost to the wars. He is dead, and I am blemished. It is very old-fashioned to stand and wait after the knock, and the letter, and the flag. You can only think that the devil has turned into God.
Hey, mother, go to your room and have a drink. Say some prayers. There is no devil, and maybe no God. But there is an industrial complex and a government, having conducted both father and son.
Call to the Father Darius. Chant some unpleasant, barbarous, mournful verse.
Cry out!
Bring him up!
Send up the loved man. Send Darius to this crazy, wretched woman.
War wastes some men, but infatuates
Open your father, Darius! Come here and listen to these new and recent sorrows. Hear how youth is perished. Come on, damn it! You too much praise, son of a bitch! Come on! Come on!
As you were, men. And just like my comrades, I have said a few prayers. Troubled, you know. Terrified about my wife recalling my death. She sacrificed and prayed and even called for my resurrection. Pity how death takes life. Or is it God gives and God takes away? Anyways, here I am. I came, the quick and the very dead. What do you new warriors want?
I am ashamed to see you.
I am ashamed to hear you.
You were so feared in the past.
Well, since I have come, speak succinctly. Recount everything. Put aside your pride and let your pain go and honor me.
I tremble.
I tremble.
I look to tell.
An old fear gets in the way of your sense of honor. When I was here, she was always whimpering about something. You, wife, stop crying. Tell me what mark life has placed on you.
Darius, my happiness is gone. Why cannot I be happy? Why won't God let me be? I love you. And I envy you. Death makes much pain go away. Look what it has done for you. You are gone. But where is my son? These men are destroyed.
How? A bolt of lightning? Civil disobedience? The lack of city lights? What?
No. Decisions made far above the local pay grade have destroyed us all.
Yes, my son was in charge. But he is dumb. And I love him.
Wild, but cherished Zach, who drained so many and saw them wiped off the face of the earth. How did he do it?
He led them.
But how?
Feet, trucks, helicopters, planes?
He accomplished his orders. It was contrived.
Good God, woman!
Reports say he caused much destruction, lost a lot of men, and destroyed a lot of innocents.
Destroyed people, the houses, the defenders, the villages, and the youths. Theirs and ours. Allies, ours, the enemy, all the youth. Gone.
Zach alone. With a few, but they died. And some captured at Kandahar, Musala. He was taken, but maybe he escaped.
My son Zach, without much age or sense, ignored what I tried to teach. Result, sorrow.
Sir, Darius, sir, why keep harping on this? How can everybody be better?
Show leadership, regardless of the numbers who follow. Remain safe and return.
What? We have been there. We have seen and felt the war, but who cares how we feel inside?
Aren't we the conquerors?
Few really get the deserved credit. Some without honor get noticed for plunder and destruction. See the thoughtless, senseless demolition of those precious images and temples, like those mauled and blown up by the Taliban. See the corpses piled like cords of wood, while witnesses remain mute. Weep with disdain at the squalor and waste of fortunes by one so boastful, single-minded, whose self-aggrandizing methods bringing low everything, including themselves, all in the egotistical joy of proving a point and self-worth. And you, old mother, go home and put on some more of your designer crap, and go meet your crazy girlfriends and your heroic son. Make him feel good. Offer him some caressing words. Maybe he will truly listen to you. Goodbye. Share these days of trouble. Feed your souls in this life for the life to come.
The shit that fell speaks well of the shit that's here and the shit to come.
God, how much can you put on me? How much more can I bear? Dishonor is on my son. will not let my tears betray my home.
I'm a boy soldier! I have drummed for the British in homeland conflicts, on land and on sea, in America, India, Southeast Asia, and in China. In France in the Revolution, I was Gavroche. In Southeast Asia for the Viet Cong and for the Khmer Rouge. In sub-Saharan Africa and for drug dealers in jungles and cities throughout the world. I have become desensitized. Losing childhood, innocence, moral objectivity, and all sense of self. What kind of a man might I hope to become? I was stolen, kidnapped, and given away to become barefooted, sometimes uniformed in fatigues, or naked instruments of the senseless, evil dictator, rebels or monster, self-proclaimed colonels and generals who find my young mind easily warped after I witnessed the deaths of sisters and mother, father, and whole villages of elders and loved ones. I was fed some bread, some beer, and many lies to keep me killing in the name of things not fully understood, but identified as what thievery has or will take from us. Kill. Kill. Kill in the name of the Papa, the General, the Chief, the religious convictions I cannot read or understand. The belief becomes my mother. The rifle my girlfriend, the march my father, the smell and taste of blood, my covering, my luxury, my lover. If I grow up, will I recover and become of use to any society? Can I count on nature to restructure me, to reform my heart, to clean my head, to allow my conscience to right itself, to open me to the majesty of real human truth? Will I be able to walk with other boys and men without thinking of the demonic things I have done? Will there always be a darkness to my heart? Can I ever sit at a table and be fully joyed by food, without suspicion and guilt about the very food's honesty? Will all future human touch be seen only as an encounter full of malice and possible death? Why has war taken my lamb and left only the tiger's snarl and bloody tooth and claw? What if I never have a nightmare and come to accept that all life is of little or no value?
A great and good life was ours.
We were ordered by civil law, the orders of Darius's tradition, delivered by his son to take up arms.
Glorious arms, and turn and return to battle. None of us were victorious, but we were happy to come home again to our cities and farms, after we had sacked the cities and farms of that distant place.
Who ruled? The wealthy and populous. Strong lands with endless shifts of men in helmets and gear.
Deployments, and those bragging and lying about what was accomplished in Kambesh, and Chora, and Musakala.
We entered the town in a column. We were quiet, and a boy saw us. He pointed to a small building. We stopped. Our commander pulled everybody back. He sent 3 of us, 2 shooters, and I was the spotter. We found cover and set ourselves to get whoever was in the building. We waited through the early morning, then we heard movement. I looked out and saw the boy talking to an Iraqi. And then he pointed in our direction. The man ducked inside, and the boy grinned in our direction. And the shooting started. One of my guys caught a shot in the neck. The other one took out the boy. And the silence fell. I could see my guy bleeding out with great fear in his eyes. And I could see the dead boy's eyes fixed on us. And we pulled away.
Why can't I sleep?
Why can't I feel anything?
Why do I feel and cry about everything?
Where is my house? My home? My heart?
When do the sounds of my nerves stop?
Why do I drink and walk the streets?
Where is the captain of my soul?
You, wretch. They swooped like savage birds. What happened to me?
I see these torn and misshaped soldiers. And their fates covered me like flies on my oozing sores.
Yo, Lieutenant, brave and honorable conductor for the tanked men who are slain and or broken.
All the nations scream for their native sons.
And you stuff them up into hell! They are the heroes, not you!
Tell us what happened to this variegated demography of young men. Some of them, like branches, just died or crumbled, Lieutenant.
It sucked! It was cruel, 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 Lieutenant!
You and all the top brass took so many humans that the Tigris and Euphrates Valley choked with the stink of inhumanity!
I am so sorry. For you and for those ancestral lands, for the pain that we I caused.
I shouted for you to come and get me.
I cried for my mama and sang my rosary.
So much has changed me.
And all the bawling and weeping will not end it.
Your pains and panics and grief will not restore your honor.
Crying has done nothing for you or me.
I was spoiled. Ever protected by war's prestige and profits.
Pray for all the rest.
But where are they?
Your band of brothers.
Frank,
Scotty,
Hallie,
Augie, Doc, Sam,
Josie,
did you leave them in Baghdad?
Bond,
Karbala al-Quds, Fallujah.
Mosul.
They are lost. I deserted them there in the desert. They vanished. Gone. Even their corpses.
Where is Franklin? Great Erie! Where is Sergeant Stein?
Big Lamont.
Memphis?
Terry,
Artie, Hastings, and Maisie.
Tell us where they all go, Lori!
They're gone. Looking at the sky with their mouths open and death's gumless grin.
you left them? What about your trusted right hand, Alfonso?
You left all those poor bastards behind.
I am stuck in this forever! All alone!
What?
We have just learning what has been done to you. To me. To all those. Ours and the others.
No damn good luck with this war.
I am stuck. Stuck! And I hate what has happened to this! To my army. So many. Lost.
What is not lost is cursed with fear and dread.
If there was only peaceful sleep. I am looking at the remains of power and loyalty.
See.
At this head. This heart. This brain?
What is this? Don't you see yourself in us?
A treasury of sorrow!
So much from so many.
I am without any to protect or provide for me. Nobody lives in this head!
We stood firm in combat. That was to protect and provide.
Too firm. And after came all this unexpected sadness.
You mean the ruined, in the broken we have become.
Pity.
Nightmares.
Painful.
Sudden panic.
Pain. And our power. I am stripped of everything you gave to our nation.
Stripped us of so many friends as the nation's raged.
This is for all the lost and for all the broken.
Cry. Because you two are miserable.
Scream at me!
Please!
Let us join together and mourn.
Fathers, have mercy on us.
Mothers!
Have mercy on us. O Lord, have mercy on us. Giver of all, have mercy on us.
Take away my sins. Take away this madness.
We are drowning.
So am I!
You cry for me!
Shout for me! My duties have come and gone! Cry. Cry. Cry for my crying.
Cry for my crying. Cry. Cry for my crying.
Cry for my
Cry! Cry! Cry for my crying!
Cry. Cry for my crying.
Cry for my crying!
Look up! Stop your hurts! And cry out the blues! Get this off me! Give it
Will it so much pain and guilt?
Let my tears and spit take it away! I weep! I weep! I weep!
Sorrow! You heard half his words, but none of his rusted heart!
Go home! Where is home? We can go nowhere!
Through the city, to the houses, the homes, bosoms of love, through suburbia, through the winding streets, and into a cul-de-sac.
We have searched!
Wild like banshees! Scream for mercy! Like cats!
Don't hurt children!
Man, step up to home. Cry out again and again, and be delivered from the aftermath of what we are called to do.
Take me, Father Darius. Daddy. 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 Daddy! 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 Daddy!
What we have been called to do is preserve fathers to sons and sons to country.
We will take you. Come to our family.
With these sad red cries and prayers. Gripe sois enojo omene, pensame tarenos, tasas parome cragi kai prosuke.
We shall escort you with mournful lament.
With sad red cries and prayers. Suborra porreja vadua di bazari quahinkad.
Suguara Bareha Batuadi Bazari Kwahinkad. 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 Suguara